What the was the name of a sneaker that I reviewed last week. It was the What the LAs, and they're being followed up with a sister pair, the What the New Yorks. Nike Air Force One What the New Yorks is what we're looking at today, and comparing that. We're looking at A, that New York sneaker, and also B, having a little comparison to those LA ones that dropped just a couple of weeks ago. So if you're interested in that, stick around to find out what I have to say about these sneakers, find out the comparison between the two, and there's some weird sort of trail of breadcrumbs between the sneakers. It's almost like a riddle to sort of solve, and see if you can solve that riddle with me today. And of course, with butter movement stuff, I'll chuck up the playlist up here already, but the butter movement stuff comes at the end of the videos. We don't want to get in the way of the sneaker. So without further ado, let's get into this Nike Air Force One What the New York. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo Butter 23 sneaker channel des mainichi upsuru no de mainichi mite kudasai. Every single day I drop you content from Tokyo, Japan about sneaker releases, sneaker news, sneaker reviews, and upcoming sneaker releases. And today it's no different. We're looking at the Nike Air Force One What the New York, having looked at the Nike Air Force One What the LA a couple of weeks ago. There are distinct differences between these sneakers, but in concept they're basically the same. A Nike Air Force One where every single panel is completely different. There's almost no place between the left and the right shoes where they have the same color panel or the same color detailing. Someone was kind enough on the Nike the What the LA video to point out that the stitching, I think it was the stitching around the midfoot is what he said, the midsole, was the same on the left and the right sneakers. And the stitching is actually an interesting part of the left shoe that we'll get into today. But before we do that, before we get into anything, this is a YouTube channel that's growing very fast thanks to my tie-up with Shoe Butter, who's the great butter movement man, the what is it, the biggest sneaker gang in the world, is that what it is? And the channel's growing fast, and the channel grows fast because you out there click the subscribe button down below. So if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below and help us grow this channel as it keeps on doing. And as I am here in Tokyo, Japan, I do say at the start of every single one of my videos, Toroku yoroshiku onegaishimasu. としての登録ボタンもありますので、こちらにもちっちゃい漢字で登録って書いてあるので、ここをクリックすると楽しいこと、面白いことが出てくるので、そこでクリックすると助かるので、登録よろしくお願いします。Okay, now let's have a look at these guys here. It's a similar concept, like I said, to the Air Force One What the LAs, and they're an identical shoe if you look at them in black and white, if you know what I mean. The color blocking and all that kind of stuff. There have been other ones. Let me think. I didn't think about talking about this today, but then I realized as I say that the LAs and the New Yorks are the same. What I mean is, what was it? The shadow, or the women's shadow? If you think about the Air Force One women's shadow, the actual construction of the sneaker was different to your regular Air Force One. And if you think about the motorsports that dropped earlier in the year, slight difference, not much, but there's a sort of more sleeker effect to them. But the physical construction of the What the LAs and the What the New Yorks are very, very similar. The differences come in the materials and the colors. So without further ado, we're going to have a look at that. Now, there's a couple of things that are, I said at the start of this video, it's like a riddle, breadcrumbs that we've got to try and solve this riddle. And what I meant by that was that there are places on this pair of sneakers where the left and the right almost match, but not quite. I think that's deliberate. Now, what I mean by that, for example, is if you look at the left laces in the picture behind me right now, they're orange, and if you look at the left overlay on the toe box, not the left, the right overlay on the toe box, that too is orange. So you've got that orange laces to orange toe box. Then if you stay on the right shoe and go to the laces there, it's a red laces, but if you drag your eyes to the left shoe, it's a red outsole. And then if you go up from that red outsole on the left shoe to the midfoot sort of area, is it the quarter? The colouring behind the first half of the swoosh there, and if you have a peek behind onto the medial side of the right shoe, you can see the colouring on there is the same as well. So you've got this kind of similarity going on, similar effects going on in certain places, like the heel branding on the right shoe, and then the overlay on the toe box on the left shoe, for example. There's similarities, but they're not in exactly the same places, which I didn't see on the What the LAs, but I am seeing it on here. Now, there were some things on the What the LAs that I liked very much. I think they had a translucent icy blue outsole on one, whereas these guys have a translucent blue outsole. It's not got that icy effect, and I actually prefer the icy. I think it gives it a little bit more pop. And also, if you look at the stitching around the left toe box, you can see that so it's almost like off-white stitching in that kind of like oversized, larger stitching, which is not reflected on the toe box of the right shoe. But coming down from that, and you get to the mid-foot, not the midfoot, the midsole on both shoes. You've got black on one and white on the other. And the thing that I'm seeing that's different from the What the LAs is the What the LAs had speckled midsoles, whereas on these two it's a very plain, solid black, solid white midsole on there. And then coming back a little bit from there, right on the quarter line of the toe box, between the toe box and the midfoot, you've got these tiny little swooshes to complement the larger swooshes back in the back half of the sneaker. Now it's left, on the left shoe it's white, and on the right shoe I think it's either dark blue or black, but a different color. I wasn't sure about What the LAs, but they're definitely different on both shoes here. So there's a lot of cool detailing on these guys. The unique detailing comes around the heel, where the New York branding is blazoned above the air that comes on the midsole, and that New York branding that you find on the heel is reflected and mirrored on the insole and the inside of these guys in the same font and the same style, so you've got the New York in there as well. And that leads us to the back of the sneaker. My favorite part of the sneaker, had the right outsole been icy blue, that would have been my favorite part, but just as normal blue, it's not quite. But the heel tabs on both sneakers are very different, but I think are very cool. On the right foot, I think I'm right in saying it's a sort of you know, that there was Air Jordan 1s that dropped earlier this year, turbo greens were they called, which were kind of a soft suede-y, or was it textured leather, but they were a real light blue, kind of aqua blue, that's the word I'm looking for. And one of the heel brandings on the back here has that light blue kind of aqua color to it. And then it's the other one that's sort of drawing people's attention because it's got this basketball leather feel to it. I don't know if it's made of actual basketball leather or if it's just styling. I would go with styling. I can't imagine they've put actual basketball leather on the back of one of these guys, but that a lot of people are kind of being drawn to that and liking that effect on there. So overall, it's a pretty cool looking sneaker if you ask me. I really like the effect of it. I talked in the What the LAs video about how one of the first sneakers I bought for YouTube was the mismatched dunk lows from the Atmos brand here, where each sneaker was a complete opposite. They were blue and grey, but where it was blue on the left, it was grey on the right, and vice versa. So that was mismatched, but these aren't mismatched. They're just totally different in the same way that the What the LAs were. I think they're kind of cool. I like the What the LAs a little bit more, to be honest. I think it's the orange. I think the orange is a little bit too overpowering on these ones, if you ask me. I think that What the LAs are a bit cooler. But they are still a cracking looking sneaker, and if it's something you're interested in, go out there and grab yourself a pair. I think you'll definitely be looking pretty cool on the streets, and there's nobody else going to be wearing these guys out there at the same time as you. Would be a pretty safe bet. Okay, so that's enough about the sneaker today. It's time to talk about the butter movement. As I say in all of my videos, I keep the butter movement stuff till the end so as not to get in the way of the sneaker. And I've been in touch with Shoe Butter. Now, he said on the first video back in the shoe apartment that he would, you know, if you saw something, if there was something that you liked, if there's something that you wanted to have a closer look at, just let us know in the comments down below. And about 5 or 6 people put particular things in the comments down below. And what I do is I keep my notes app on my iPhone open, and I copy and paste across from the comments anything that somebody says that they want to have a look at, a particular sneaker, or somebody even said the Yeezys at 11 minutes and 29 seconds. I want to have a look at those. So I took a note of that, and I'll pass that on to Shoe Butter, but I haven't passed it on to him yet. He definitely is recording stuff this week, which is scheduled to be going up on my channel the day after tomorrow, so look forward to that. More butter movement and Shoe Butter stuff on Thursday. I'm planning on the butter movement stuff and Shoe Butter stuff being Thursday stuff, but Shoe Butter and Mark know more about YouTube than I do, and they might actually think there's a better day to drop the Shoe Butter stuff, so we'll see if it stays Thursday or not. I think it's a good idea to get it there on Thursday so that you've got the kind of momentum going through Thursday and Friday, and then the weekend crowd jump on board as well. But maybe that's just my crazy wild thinking, who knows. So for you though out there, if you're interested in the shoe butter stuff, there's particular shoes that you want to see, check out the videos in the playlist that I talked about earlier. Leave a comment that says, I want to see your undefeated Jordan 4 prototype, one of the rarest shoes in the world, or I want to see the samples for the Yeezy 350 V2s, one of the rarest sneakers in the world. So whatever it is that you guys want to see, make sure you drop a comment down below. I'll pass that on to Shoe Butter, and hopefully he'll build that into some videos real soon. For now though, it's time for me to sign off, and thank you guys for checking out my content. I do this every single day, so it's a hard chunk of work for me, but I actually like doing it, so it's not that hard work really, because when you like doing something, it's not that hard to do. But as I do this every single day, I get to say at the end of my videos extremely confidently that I am guaranteed to be here every single day, so you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.